Joe Makhetha, one of the two suspects arrested and most recently in connection with Thabo Bester's prison escape, has been granted bail. Accused number 12, Moeketsi Ramolula, has abandoned his bid. Silindelo Masikane was in court and she joins us now. A seventh suspect out on bail, Slee. Tell us more.
A seventh suspect out on bail, William, and of course this is after the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court granted his bail application, and the state, of course, unopposing that application. And it does seem as though that, like the other suspects, Makhetha is going to have to adhere to some very strict bail conditions, like not contacting witnesses. His lawyer has been given a list of about 18 names of witnesses that he is not allowed to contact or be in touch with. We understand he needs to report to a police station at least once a week on a Monday between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. He has already handed in his passport, and of course he has also been warned to ensure that he does make each and every appearance in connection with this particular matter. What was quite interesting was that last week we were told by the state that they would be opposing the bail applications, saying that the accused were facing Schedule 5 offences. Of course, they've been charged in connection with the escape of Thabo Bester from the Mangaung Correctional Centre. They're facing charges such as corruption, aiding and abetting, as well as violation of a body. We understand that they are alleged to have played a role in planting Katlego Bereng's body in Bester's cell as a decoy. So he is now officially out on 10,000 Rand bail. He's back at home, and we also understand from his family that it has taken quite a heavy toll on them, and they believe that the trial, once it gets underway, it will be able to clear Makhetha's name. At this point, he is a suspended G4S employee. He actually is still receiving his salary, and we understand, of course, that processes at the prison, those internal processes are also still unfolding. Let's just take a listen to what his family member had to say to us after court proceedings.
I do not believe he's someone who's capable to do a crime of that nature. However, we will await all the necessary processes of the court and the investigations to be finalized. But I still maintain the position that we had previously, that he is innocent in all this. His children have been going through a devastating moment, but I believe that today they will feel very much better that now their father is back home. We also, as the entire family, would be much happier to welcome him back.
Of course, Lee, the other person in the center of the saga is Dr. Nandipha. Her legal team back in court on Friday. Tell us why.
Well, you would remember a couple of weeks ago, she made an application to the High Court wanting her arrest and deportation from Tanzania to be declared unlawful and set aside. You would remember from her court papers, she's claiming that she was essentially abducted from Tanzania and brought back to South Africa to face the charges before her. We had heard arguments from her legal team and, of course, opposition to that application by the state, in particular Home Affairs, the NPA, as well as the police ministry that had brought lawyers to the court to oppose that application. And what was quite interesting about the judgment was that it does seem as though the judge agreed with Makudumana that this deportation was actually an extradition that was disguised as a deportation. The only downfall to that application, according to the judge, was the fact that according to the paper papers that were brought in by the state, Makhetha agreed to come back to South Africa and that she wanted to come back home. So the judge said, based on that, he was going to dismiss her application. So her legal team believes that they have grounds to appeal the application. On many occasions that I've spoken to them, they are actually willing to go as far as taking this fight to the Constitutional Court. And speaking to legal experts, her application in the High Court challenging her deportation may actually delay the processes in the magistrates' courts in terms of when we could see those accused in the Bester escape actually going to trial. So we spoke to a legal expert on her chances of success in her appeal application. Let's take a listen.
The magistrate in the court of first instance made a fact finding to say that what they did in Tanzania was unlawful. So that fact finding was made. So I think that she's got a very strong chance of actually getting her arrest and the subsequent detention, arrest in Arusha and her bringing here be declared unlawful and unconstitutional. I think there's a strong chance because the magistrate made that fact finding. And I think also looking at the Supreme Court of Appeal, those guys are very strict when it comes to applying the law and working within the parameters of the law. So if there is a fact finding and the court of did have a side to the papers and the argument, listen to the people, and they probably won't necessarily sort of interfere with that fact finding. They will just look at after that fact finding was the right interpretation given to statute. And I think she's got a stronger chance than the state in that application that is on appeal on Friday.
And Slee, let's talk about the 12 accused. When do we expect them back?
Well, we are expecting 12 suspects to be back at the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court on the 8th of August. During the last appearance, we were told that investigations were still underway, that there was a possibility of more arrests. And so between now and the 8th of August, it will also be interesting to see if any more arrests will be made and whether we will be seeing more than 12 people in the dock. But at this stage, all 12, including Bester, will be back in court on the 8th of August, and we will see just how far the investigations are from being completed, as well as a trial date to be set in this matter. So on the 8th of August, we will be back here in Bloemfontein, but of course on Friday, we will be back in the High Court for that appeal application by Dr. Nandipha's legal team.
Slee, thank you so much for your time this evening. That is Silindelo Masikane on the bail hearings of the latest suspects arrested in connection with Thabo Bester's escape. Now